are very excited to have a new guest today, Mr. Matt Joyce, joining us, and everyone's favorite, Christian Anderson.
Howdy.
Yes, back with the shaved head and colored hair.
Yeah.
We missed the purple.
Yeah.
That was a moment.
We didn't get a Periwinkle podcast.
I know.
I'm pretty sure I did the highlights in high school. So
Yeah, I was just.
It's a good look.
Well, I had hair past my shoulders, and then I have a 9-month-old, and it was she just last 6 months. I was getting the death grip, and it had to go. Yeah.
I know.
The beard right now it's aggressive.
Yes.
It hurts. The beard grab with those. She's so strong. Not to get sidetracked.
Raising a strong baby.
Yeah.
Yes. In other news,
Hello.
Mr. Matt Joyce here is joining us. We're calling this episode From MLB to Major League Business Owner.
Okay.
Although, thank you.
Start the timer.
21 minutes, yes. Speed running it. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah, let's go.
Some sports, some business ownership, some in between that you may not have anticipated us asking.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Get
Fire
excited.
away. Let's do it.
I like to open with an icebreaker, though.
Okay.
So we know that you were a record-setting MLB player.
Yeah.
Stats aside, what was the craziest thing anyone ever yelled at you from the stands?
Oh my God, I can't say that on. Craziest thing. Yeah. So listen, when you're sitting, I played left field and right field.
Okay.
Right. And so a lot of times in the outfield, I mean, they're cheaper seats. They're kind of like, you know, especially in New York, they call them bleacher creatures. Right. And so as you would imagine, as the game goes on, they would drink more and more.
Yes.
And so typically by like the 6th, 7th inning, like you're getting all kinds of profanity, obscene, you know, words and whatnot. And so obviously you kind of have to wear it. And obviously, depending how the game's going, if you hit a home run, then, you know, like you feel okay about it.
Yes.
But if you strike out a couple times, it's miserable because you're just wearing you out. But one of the funnier ones was when I was playing in Toronto.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, this just made me laugh out loud. I had a girl, so I was playing left field.
Yeah.
And Toronto has like, you know, Canadian fans, right? Like hockey fans. And so this girl just randomly yells out, she goes, "Joyce, I'm pregnant. It's yours." And I was like, oh my God, like, thank God. You know, I was married at the time. I'm like, thank God my wife didn't hear this. And then literally
I've never met you.
A minute. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. A minute later, some guy goes, "Joyce, I'm pregnant. It's yours." And I was just like, oh my God.
That's incredible.
What is happening right now? So it got me. It made me laugh.
That's amazing. Who knew the hecklers had hecklers
that
just really doubled down on the joke? I stand for this.
There's a guy who makes content just, I think he's like an Orioles fan. And he calls people like a bum. But he's just like made a whole like multi-100,000 follower account. Just calling people a bum from the outfield. Like, literally.
Oh, that's a shtick.
Yeah, that's his thing.
Okay. Yeah, see how they react.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing because I feel like, yes, some of them may not be camera ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder where that guy is these days. Is he pregnant still, you think? Or?
That's a while ago. He probably had the baby.
10% of minor leaguers make it to the majors. I read that. But you made it.
Yeah.
What do you think separated you from the pack?
I tell everybody the stars aligned for me. You know, I think you have to have some things go right. You have to stay healthy. You have to have the right scout see you. And then it's like, man, once you get an opportunity to play pro ball and you're playing in the minor leagues, it's the ultimate grind. Like you don't really get paid very well. You're playing for the dream of playing in the major leagues. And you have 12, 13-hour bus rides. It's better environment situation now. They get paid a little bit more. Their housing gets taken care of. But, you know, we played at, you know, kind of crappier stadiums. We crappier hotels. I got a roommate that snores, right? Like it's like, I'm like, this
isn't helping the game
this
here.
is a grind here.
Staying with families.
And so you have to love it. You got to really love it. And for me, like I loved it. I loved to play. I loved to hit. And I think I hated to fail. And like the feeling of failing was just so like miserable. It was so like painful that I wanted to do whatever I could to not fail. Right. And especially you think about like thousands and thousands of people starting to watch you and you have this intense pressure and you fail. It's a painful feeling. And so that really caused me to work so much harder, work harder. And so like I had a little bit of talent. I had the opportunity, obviously. My dad pushed me a lot, worked with me. sometimes a little bit, pushed me too hard, yelling. Mm-hmm. He was the first fan that was yelling and seeing things at me. Okay, like you're swinging like a girl, original, Yeah, I'm like, oh my god, dude, this guy, get this guy out of the stands. And so really came down to, I remember being in AA. There was a period where I struggled really bad. I was in like 190 after a couple months. The manager called me in. He was like, hey, you're not playing that well. Can't get it going. Like, we got to send you down. We got to make a move here. Mm-hmm. And I started to dive into like mindset because I was just very negative and I just felt like defeated. I didn't know what to do. And so I just looked for answers. And I started reading like The Secret, Law of Attraction, mental mindset, on really just for like baseball and sports in general. And it started to like shift the way I thought, shifted my perspective. And from that moment, I started to get a little bit of momentum. And then a year later, I was getting called up to the big leagues. And it was just like from zero, like crying, like basically tears in my eyes, laying in bed, to like I'm getting called up and living the dream. It was crazy. It was wild.
I mean, you mentioned talent, which is obvious. Like, you need the physical component to even compete, right? And then you layer on the gift of grit.
Yeah.
You really have to stay the course. And then finally, mindset of you got to get your head in the game, no pun intended, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like that mirrors a lot of business ownership.
Yeah.
You know, and so clearly kind of the setup there was a nice one for you later in life, which we'll talk about. But first, I want to understand, because you're from Tampa originally.
Yep.
And coming up through Tampa and then being traded and playing for multiple different teams in different cities, finally making your way back here. Mm-hmm. What did that feel like? Was hometown hero like a moment, or did it feel like full circle? Like, what did it feel like coming back to Tampa?
Yeah, a lot of mixed emotions. It was a little bit full circle. I mean, for me, it was just like, honestly, I always came back here. I was born and raised here.
Yeah.
Armwood High School, Florida Southern College in Lakeland. You know, my family always lived over here. And then even when I got drafted by the Tigers, spring training was in Lakeland. So we were here. And then we, you know, for a few years there, we would go play up north in the summer. And then I got called up to the big leagues. And then right after that, 2008, I got traded to the Rays. The Rays went to the World Series. I got traded to the Rays. I was playing in Mexico at the time. They said, hey, you're coming home. And I'm like, thank God.
Yeah.
You know,
Get me out of here.
It's winter ball. I'm ready to go home. Mexico is a different world.
Yeah.
And I already played a full season. So playing winter ball, I was just exhausted. And so, you know, my agent was like, no, like, you got traded to the Rays. And I was like, really? That's cool. My dad called me. He was pumped. And so playing, you know, I finally got to play for home. 2009, I want to say, God, this is a lifetime ago. I want to say I started with the club against the Red Sox, and then I got sent down. So I spent most of the time in AAA, and I was playing well. But like playing at home was both. It was surreal. It was amazing. It was the dream. But at the same time, it came with a lot. Everybody wanted something: hats, tickets, jerseys, sign this, come here, do this, take a picture here. And so, you know, I mean, I always felt like I tried to treat everybody, you know, as nicely and accommodating as possible.
Of course, yeah.
But at the same time,
you're just one person.
But at the same time, like, you have a job to do, so
right.
you have to prepare. And like, there's a certain point where you're like, hey, like, I have to cut this off, and I have to go like flip the switch so I can like go to like war. It's like when you cross the line, it's a different mindset.
Yeah.
So, I think I did a solid job, and, you know, made the most of it.
Yeah. When you think back about, because you mentioned transitioning, right? And like coming back here, trying to just be one person. Do you find that any of those moments of like checking your identity prepared you as you exited playing ball into the real world of business ownership and what was to come?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good question. I think, honestly, it's one of the hardest things that I've gone through. Is transitioning out of the game.
Yeah.
And I actually worked last year for this company called Pro Athlete Community that helps pro athletes transition out of the game into different areas like business, real estate, finance, entrepreneurship. And so it's a heavy education company. So I love the mission. I love the group. And I was just like, this is great. I wish I had this. And they were trying to really grow into baseball, and I was kind of leading the charge. And obviously, as a startup, right? Like, you know, they kind of had to figure out some things, and they got a little bit leaner. And so And so as an athlete, especially transitioning out of the game, you lose your sense of identity,
right,
of just like who you are, what do you do, what are you known to do, what do you want to do. Your income goes to zero, right? And so your lifestyle naturally creeps up and you're spending this money. And so now your income stops and you're like, oh my God, what am I doing? Like, yeah, exactly. You got to figure things out quick.
Yeah.
And then really like you lose this sense of like camaraderie because you're not in the clubhouse and locker room. You can't sit here and have conversation with the guys.
Yeah.
The lack of significance of like doing something at the highest level is completely stripped from you. And so it is challenging. It's very challenging. I was fortunate enough to start with like in the minor leagues, I was reading Rich Dad, Poor Dad and things that like helped me. So I started investing in real estate, which, it's done well throughout the years. And then towards the end of my career, we started the F45s and I always wanted to learn business. I fell in love with the programming of F45 because I thought that's exactly how I would train as well as most people should be training.
Yeah.
And so we started that project. And so we got up to 6. Now we've slimmed down to 4 because it's just a lot to try to manage these studios.
Yeah.
And so we've done well. Obviously, I think you always want to do better. I think, like you said, there's a big part of like grit, the mental side of like consistently showing up, the talent aspect on business. I think some people are a little bit more gifted. Probably in the business sense, I had a really good friend who's just sharp and really good with numbers. And so like when it comes to like doing deals and numbers and picking apart businesses, like I think he does it faster. But I think most of the time it's just pure grit.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. And I want to just circle back because there are other questions here. But you've been transparent about like the financial impacts of leaving the league and how the transition into a new identity really takes some maneuvering. Is probably a light way of putting what you experienced. What do you think the hardest trade-off was you had to accept as you were sort of rebuilding in a new world?
In the transition, what's the hardest reality you have to accept?
Yeah.
That you can't do something that you trained your whole life to do.
Yeah.
And really that like this is what I wanted to do. And honestly, like it was the dream. Right. And so it was like now what? Exactly right. So it's like, and even still, I mean, I'm 5 years out and I'm kind of like, okay, well, you have to consistently go to work at recreating the next vision, right? What is it that you want to go accomplish? And I think that's challenging because like, I think it starts with that. It starts with the clarity of the vision of like, what do you want to go do? What do you want to go achieve? What do you want to build? How can you help other people? And then from there, then it becomes, okay, well, what's the routine? How do you do this? Who are you going to work with? Like, there's a lot of other questions, but everything starts with like recreating the vision. For me, it was like, what do you want to do? I want to be a Major League Baseball player. Yeah. And again, then it was like, okay, well, I like business. I want to learn business. And, I think that's kind of the next step, right? Of like, okay, I want to be a successful business owner.
Was there anything you noticed that like, as you were making that transition, like applied really well to business from having spent 14 seasons in the league?
Yeah. I was fortunate enough to play 14 in the Major League, 17 professionally. So incredible run. I was very fortunate. I think you take a lot of things, right? A lot of the intangibles that you learn along the way of just discipline. Again, like, with treating how you treat other people, showing up. I mean, I tell everybody, like my first year out was really hard. It was very challenging. We had an operating partner and I would get calls when I'm on the road. I'm getting ready for a game. Yeah. Do you know he said this? Do you know he did this? Unprofessionalism, inappropriate behavior. Just like got to the point where it was, potential lawsuit. And as soon as I was done, 37 end of the season, I was like, hey, we kind of had to terminate, had to force the buyout, go separate ways. And I got pulled into operations. And so I was kind of doing a regional manager role. Yeah. And so I tell people, what is this? Yeah. So I tell people, I went from playing in front of 40,000 people, making, really good money and feeling like this level of significance to being in the St. Pete gym, fixing a toilet. Yep. And I'm like walking out of there.
Sounds like business ownership.
This is ownership. And I walked out there and I'm like, what am I doing with my life? Yeah. And the reality was this is ownership, right? Like you have to, once you own something, you have to take responsibility for it, and you have to hold the standard really high because nobody else is going to hold it as high as you.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you feel like there was any skill from playing that actually made you worse? in this environment?
I don't know if I've had that question. I mean, maybe just the fact that I got spoiled. You know, I think that's where it's like, what is going to match that? That's where my brain struggles. Yeah. Where it's like, I'm coming from this world that's just, you know, everybody's cheering or some sense of idolation or whatever, you know, of kind of like putting you on this pedestal, and then obviously you get rewarded if you do really well. And so, like in business, you kind of don't unless you're like Elon Musk or something, you know, like you have to get this crazy success. And so then it becomes like, okay, well, you know, how do you match that? And like,
you got to pat yourself on the back because nobody else is going to do it.
Yeah.
It's a quiet boardroom.
Right. Yeah. And you guys know the statistics of like how many businesses are actually successful, right? Like once you get in the real world, you're like, wow, this is very different.
Yeah. So you had a lot of different options of what you wanted to be when you grew up after baseball. And you chose F45, among some other things, it sounds like.
Yeah.
There are lots of business franchises and business ownership related to baseball. Why that? What made you pick that? What was the appeal?
Yeah, again, you know, I was fortunate enough to start with real estate. Got a little spoiled because, you know, I got called up in 2008. I started investing in a single family home in 2009. So like we bought our first single family home. That was like 55,000, I think it was. Insane.
That doesn't happen anymore.
Yeah, you can't. No chance, right? Yeah. And so, we got to build the single family home portfolio. We got to renovate those, rent them out, and then eventually kind of the market appreciated, and then we started to sell those off, got to multifamily, did the same thing, value add. And then one of my best friends, we became best friends. He was my business partner at the time of like investing in real estate. Got so good that he ended up building a fund. And so now he has 10 different projects. It's site real estate. He's actually building a bunch of the townhomes here in Gasworks, right down the road. Does an incredible job. And so, you know, he was so good that I was just a passive investor, and I was like, well, you know, I can really lean and rely on him. And so I really wanted to learn more business. And then obviously as an athlete, it was like, what do you relate to? What do you believe in? Because I just always feel like it's hard to sell something you don't believe in. Right, like you're not going to have the same energy.
You can do it, but you can sense it.
You can sense it. Yeah. It's very different, and so that was something I believed. I saw how successful Orange Theory was, and I was like, I did Orange Theory. Like I don't, this is not what I want to do. You know, I want to do something that is more functional. It's high intensity. I can build strength.
Right.
So it checked all the boxes for me. I think it's a challenging model to scale because it is physical retail. It's a franchise, like you said, so your margins are a little bit thinner, and you have to have really good trainers, and then it's challenging to keep them. And so like there's been some challenges for sure, obviously with any business.
Yeah.
And so good learning experience. I honestly don't know if I would do it again because it's very challenging.
Okay. Yeah. Well, lesson learned. I mean, you don't know until you try it. And
I don't regret it. I don't regret it. But at this point, I'm just like, okay, I'm not doing that again.
Right. Yeah. And so now you've been out of the game for a second, except now you're back in, but on a different side, right?
I've done some broadcasting.
Okay. Tell us about that. How is it being on like the leadership side and commentary side of narrating a game that you used to play?
Yeah. So, you know, to be honest with you, I think I would actually enjoy in-game a little bit more. So I've done pre and post-game.
Yeah.
But just like anything, you kind of have to get your foot in the door and get the reps, and then obviously get comfortable in front of the camera. And then obviously as they go along, what opportunities open up really is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And so my first year I didn't do anything. Again, you have this deep sense of loss. You're missing, you know, this big part of you. And so the second year, that off season, I flew to San Diego and got in front of MLB Network. I got in front of Bally's. And so I kind of like networked my way, you know, spent my own money, flew over there, bought a hotel, and like took the time to try to say, hey, I'm going to go explore this option.
Yeah.
And so I ended up getting an Apple gig. And so I did 11 games Friday night baseball.
Nice.
And then I did Bally's, right, for the last 3 years, which ended up turning into FanDuel because the regional networks are obviously shifting. And so it's been a good way to stay around the game. You know, I have like the access of like being in the locker room, but I don't necessarily have the tie to be there all the time, right?
Yeah.
So like coaching, I was like, oh man, I think I would enjoy coaching. and being around the game and helping the players because you learn so much.
Right.
But the time trade-off wasn't worth it. I had my daughter, she's 9 now, she was 5 at the time. And so I was like, that just doesn't make sense for me. And so it's been good. But the challenge there, and I think I'm actually going to reduce this year. So last couple of years, I haven't done Apple. They kind of blew through their budget. Go figure. Apple had a ton of cash. And like they bought everybody a new wardrobe. And I was like, guys, I have my own clothes. I have nice clothes. Like I don't need a wardrobe. And so they did it anyway. And they were like, oh, we spent way more money. And I was like, of course you did. Like you bought me like 5 different outfits. Like I didn't need these outfits. And so I got the axe, which was kind of fine because you had to fly up Thursday night to Secaucus in New Jersey, and then you had to prep Friday, shoot Friday, and I wouldn't fly back till Saturday or Sunday, and they only pay you for 1 game. So I'm kind of like, this is a lot. This is a hassle.
Yeah, wash, right.
And so Bally's turned into FanDuel. That's been cool. Good experience. Obviously, speaking in front of the camera is really good experience. I used to be terrified of public speaking, like terrified. I would take letter grades down. Okay, I would be like, I have an A. No, I'd rather have a B, so I don't have to present in front of people. I was like, this is and then and then I'm getting paid to go speaking on camera in front of
which is wild,
which
to
is
think.
Cool. Yeah, which is cool.
Has any part of being on that side, like of the camera, impacted how you think about the game, like from a player's perspective?
It's funny because I think it's very easy once you get farther away from the game and farther away from the box. It's like it looks so much easier. and that was one of the things, like sometimes the commentators, I think it's easy to make comments of like, oh, he did this wrong. And I remember telling myself, like, the one thing that's most important, don't forget how hard it is.
Yeah.
And so that was like, I just have to remember how hard it is and have to explain to people of like, what is it for me? What am I feeling? What am I seeing? What am I experiencing? Why is this happening? And kind of relay that message. That's quick.
Just like that.
It's never enough. It's literally never enough.
Yeah,
yes.
It's never enough.
Okay, we have some rapid fire questions for you.
Rapid fire.
Here we go. What's something about you that would surprise people who only know Matt Joyce, the baseball player?
I grew up playing Final Fantasy.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, you like that? I don't think most people know that.
Amazing. Do you have any crazy superstitions or lucky routines that you lived by or lived
while I was playing?
Or now?
I mean, while I was playing, I was very big. If I got a couple hits or had a good game, I would wear the same socks, but I would wash them. Okay, I just didn't want to change them.
Exactly.
Same batting gloves, same bat. Everything was like the same. It was just washed.
The no wash superstition's crazy.
It's crazy.
It is.
I mean, maybe I would have hit a few more home runs. I don't know if I didn't wash it.
What purchase did you make with your first big league paycheck that you regret?
Yeah, I bought a
immediately.
Yeah, I bought an Infinity G37, G35, one of those. And so I had like a '99 Honda Civic all throughout the minors, and like drove the crap out of it. But I always wanted the nice car. And then, like, honestly, 2 years later, I ended up like trading it. Getting something else
for half of what it was worth.
I was like, that was a dumb
I
purchase.
really like that Civic. Yeah. What's a daily habit from your playing days you still refuse to give up?
Yeah, training. I just think it's so important for like how you feel, you sleep better, just everything.
Physical training, for
sure. Without a doubt.
What's one thing you used to care about deeply as an athlete that you could care less about today?
Oh man, I mean, trying to hit a baseball. Honestly, like I used to obsess about hitting a baseball. Now I'm just like, I literally don't care about hitting a baseball anymore.
Fantastic. Last question for you. What's a life lesson baseball taught you that had nothing to do with sports?
I mean, honestly, I think the most important thing is the grit, right? Like the factor of, even when my dad was when I was growing up, it's just like, if you want something, if you want it, you have to work hard to go get it. And so a lot of times I think especially in today's world, it's so easy to get distracted by like the very short term of what do we want now. And I try to teach my daughter this, right? It's like, hey, just because it tastes good now doesn't mean it's good for you.
Right.
And so that aspect of like be long-term minded, find something that you want in the long term that is really important, that's going to be fulfilling, and then like go to work hard,
double down,
work, at trying to accomplish it.
Great life lessons.
Great life lesson.
Yeah. Matt, thank you.
Thank you so much.
It's never enough time. We appreciate you.
I know, not enough time. I didn't get to hear, enough about the hair and the beard.
Yeah. We could have geeked out about Final Fantasy.
Now he's interested.
Let's go. Yeah.
Cool.
Which one? Which one's your favorite?
I think I go 7.
Yes.
I go 7.
Yes.
That's like it. That's like the peak.
One.
Yeah,
that's the peak.
I love it. I can't even pretend.
Who'd have thought?
Yeah.
Cloud.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, follow our newsletter, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.